Well, we want schools to open. We are as excited and eager as anyone else to make sure children are back in school and learning and connected with their teachers and their peers. So we're doing everything possible to make sure that we can bring our students back, ensuring that we can do that safely for both our students and all of our employees.
You are having a record number of new cases in the state, big concerns about what's happening in the state of California. How is that impacting your decision-making process?
So the way that it works is we work with our local Department of Public Health, who is following very closely the cases, and we are planning based on their directives. So we know that when we do reopen schools, we're going to have safety precautions. We will be implementing social distancing, making sure that children are washing their hands frequently, that all of our classrooms are disinfected. And in order to do that, we're going to have smaller class sizes, more employees that will be monitoring children to remind them, especially our younger children, of the importance of practicing that physical distancing to ensure that they're safe.
When will you have to make a decision? Is there a time frame that you've set for yourself where you have to make a determination?
So we have 80 school districts in LA County, and each of those school districts will make that decision based on their situation, based on the surveys that they've conducted with their families, asking parents, are they ready to send their children back to school, how they would like to see school look when they get back, making sure they're figuring out the transportation issues to ensure that children are transported safely. So there's a lot of uncertainty still. There's a lot of information that still is being pending on the Department of Public Health in terms of the number of cases that we have. But right now, most districts are looking to reopen, some districts as early as next month, depending on where they are at and those local decisions that those communities are making.
Yeah, how flexible do you think you'll have to be? We spoke with an administrator from a school district down in Florida last night on this program who talked about perhaps a hybrid model. You're in school part of the time, you're distance learning for part of the time as well. Is that something you're thinking about and considering as well?
Definitely. Districts are looking at, in order to maintain that physical distancing, having different options. So having some kids maybe come to school a couple days of the week while learning remotely. On others, some are looking at bringing their younger children back, or students with disabilities or English language learners who it's more difficult for them to learn remotely. So districts are looking at all of the options. What we're probably going to see is a combination of very different options for parents to decide what works best for their students and their family.
You know, you got 2 million students. I was thinking the other night about sports and how we spend so much time talking about professional sports and college sports as to whether they're going to take place in the fall. And it dawned on me, you've got all these kids who love to participate in sports, in school, in the public school system, be it football or anything else. Are we going to be able to have those activities?
So it's going to look very different. We are going to be able to allow students to play some sports that are more individual, but a lot of the team sports, students will be able to work in small groups or individually to physically condition themselves. But in terms of the big sporting events, the football games with spectators coming to visit, that certainly isn't anywhere in the near future, but you can apply that also to some of our music programs, chorus, students that are using instruments. There are precautions that will need to be taken to ensure that we're not spreading COVID. And so there's a lot of safety precautions. Schools are working really hard to figure all of this out. They've been planning since closure to reopen. We also have to consider the mental health of students. They've been away from their teachers. There's been some loss of instruction for students who didn't have access to devices or to internet connectivity. This pandemic has impacted students in a different way, especially students who come from families that don't have the financial resources. So we're really trying to focus on which students have had the most significant loss of instruction and ensuring that we are reassessing and figuring out how we're going to catch those students up and how we can bring them to school as soon as possible.
If they have